If y'all take a look over that way, you're gonna see I got those two calves in the preconditioning pen, and I got another one out here somewhere, but he's eating, and I'll be taking them to the sale barn tomorrow. Last night I put them through the chute and I took a look at them, and their leg, it's like turned into a solid mass. It's like a tumor or like a bone or something. So their legs are not filled with fluid, and the bigger one, he's starting to limp, and so I actually think that his leg is starting to hurt him. And I got another one over here too. I don't know where he's at. I think that's him right there, the black one. But he's starting to limp too, and I think he's starting to limp because his leg's not good. Oh, that's not him, but he's one of these calves in here. But I think that he's starting to limp because he's getting bigger and his leg's just no good. And so I don't want to get them to a point where they're massive and they got a bad leg, and and then it's just hard on them for their whole life. So I'm gonna go ahead and take them over to the sale barn, and the sale barn people will probably send them off to the processor, and they'll go into the food supply. And so okay, I wanted to talk about this today, but I came up with something. Here's an idea of how to look at this. Because let's say you took me, and you took a whole bunch of people that have legitimately have zero idea how to do calculus, and you were legitimately going to teach us all how to do the most difficult calculus on the entire planet, like 4-dimensional calculus. You were legitimately going to teach us all how to do calculus, and none of us have any idea how to even remotely do calculus. And you were going to take all of us and start teaching us how to do this very, very, very high level calculus at the same time. Let's just say that that's what it was. Instead of farming, let's talk about something else. Let's talk about some very high level calculus. And if you put me in a room with 1,000 people, and you were going to teach us all how to do a very high level calculus at the same time, and all of us are essentially starting at the same place. We don't know anything about very high level calculus, legitimately don't know jack squat. I can almost guarantee in that room, I would not look smart. I would be just like everybody else, right? And it's like, if we were all to learn calculus, and it's like, maybe I learn it in 14 years and maybe somebody else learns it in 15. Maybe I learn it in 14 years and somebody else learns it in 12. But there is legitimately zero that somebody's gonna figure. But actually, not zero. I mean, if you're incredibly intelligent, like if you legitimately have like a 170 IQ, then sure, you might be able to figure it out in like a year, maybe even less, right? I mean, but you would have to be incredibly smart, right? I mean, even for me to do this, it took almost 14 years. I did not figure out how to do this overnight. Not even close. And it's like but it's like, if I were, and this is a very good way to put it, and it's like, how else could we gauge intelligence? It's like, if you put me in a room with 1,000 people at random, and you were going to teach us all something new, completely new, like nobody has any idea how to do this, but we're all going to start learning at the same time, I would not seem smart in that room. That's how you can tell that I'm not actually that smart. I might be a little, like if you put me in a room with 1,000 people, I might be smarter than, but then again, it matters on what we talk about, right? I mean, it matters on what we talk about. If we are going to talk specifically about running cattle in Central Texas, then sure, I'm gonna seem smart. I'm not smart, I'm more knowledgeable. But here's a way to gauge actual intelligence. Like, if I were put in a room with 1,000 other people, and we were all going to learn something completely new, it would take me about the same amount of time as everybody else to figure it out. Almost. I mean, within like 10%, right? I mean, I am not so intelligent that my intelligence is legitimately making me millions of dollars. I'm not. I'm just not. I don't know how else to put it. And this is also what I mean by, it's like, you know, if you have somebody who legitimately has zero idea about farming, there is zero way that I can show you even how to do this remotely. Even not even close, in probably not even in 12 years. And that is if you legitimately dropped everything that you were doing and worked on just farming for 15 hours a day. Like legitimately, all you were going to do was eat, sleep, and farm for the next 15 years, then maybe. Legitimately, that's about what it would take for the average person. And the average person does have the capacity to make it. Believe it or not, everybody, you know, and if you really want to take a look at that, if you want to know my ideas on that, if you go and read about the Laszlo Polgar Grandmaster Chess Experiment, geniuses are not born. I mean, some geniuses are born, but the average genius is not born. You know, the average genius is made. You can have somebody who is performing at the top level of practically anything, and they were not born that way. They had to learn how to do it. And it's like, if you take, okay, and here's the thing, it's like, here's the thing that really, you know, it's like I don't understand how you ended up this way. But if you legitimately are 1 foot away from being a bum, which okay, and here's a way to look at it. You know, I was talking about the Costco crowd a couple days ago, right? But if I went to Costco and I took an average person from Costco, I just took someone out of that Costco and I went to the hood and pulled somebody out of the hood, the difference between the person in the hood and the person in Costco is about $25,000 a year. It's not very different. Legitimately, if you took somebody from the hood, they were impoverished, making about $25,000 a year, making about $30,000 a year, and they found a way to make an extra $25,000 a year, then you essentially have that person that's walking around Costco. Essentially. Everybody's practically about the same. 90% of people make less than 90 grand a year. Like half of the American population makes about $41,000 a year. If I legitimately took somebody out of the hood and I took somebody out of a Costco and I compared them to, the only real difference between the two people would be like the person in Costco is making about $25,000 a year more. Legitimately, that's about the difference. Everybody is borderline a bum. Everybody. It does not matter where you go. You could go to the hood, you can go to Costco, you can go to Trader Joe's. It does not matter where you go. Everybody is borderline a bum. Everybody. Borderline 1 foot away from being a bum. At all times. Forever. And so, you know, it's like if I took one of these people, it does not matter. If I grabbed a random person from Costco, if I grabbed a random person from the hood, wherever I may go, I can almost guarantee nobody's really going to know how to do why is this animal limping? Oh, she got a crooked foot. She got a crooked toe. Oh, I think she actually broke one of her hooves. So I'll take a look at that. Yeah, she broke one of her hooves. She broke the front toe on her hoof. She's well, I mean, she's not limping around too hard, and it'll probably grow back. I mean, that hoof is essentially like a toenail, so I don't know how she broke it, but she broke about the front, about an inch of it. So I'll keep an eye on her. But you know, I'm being dead serious. Like if I took somebody from Costco, if I took somebody from Trader Joe's, and I legitimately took somebody who was just impoverished, they were legitimately in poverty, the difference between the two people would be about $25,000 a year. You know, it's like if you legitimately were in the hood and you found a way to make $25,000 a year, you would essentially be that person walking around in Costco. Essentially. And so, you know, everybody's 1 foot away from being a bum all the time. And it's like if I took one of these people, legitimately have zero idea how to farm, and I took one of these people and I put them on a farm, and I put a homeless person on a farm, the two people would do about the same as each other. And so you know, and it's like when you watch me farming, and it's like I may legitimately be I may be the most financially successful farmer of the year, of the entire year by a long shot. Legitimately, I may have performed the best out of everybody on the entire planet over the last year. And maybe even the next year. I'm not entirely, I'm actually in process of doing even better for myself. And it's like, I'm just going to say there is legitimately zero chance that you get to this. Zero chance. Not even in 1 year, not even in 5 years. I would be willing to bet. I would legitimately bet you money. And no, I am not going to go. I'm not going to leave to hold your hand. Why would I do that? Actually, this is the calf with the bad leg. He's got the bad leg on the back right side. You can see it. There is, why would it, does it sound like a good investment of my time to legitimately leave my farm to go help people? Absolutely not. It is a horrible investment of time. Most people cannot be saved under any circumstance. And if you're in a situation that you have genuinely just randomly woke up one day and you've convinced yourself that you can be a world-class farmer tomorrow or even next week or even next year, you are legitimately like the most pathetic individual I've ever seen. I don't know how you came to that conclusion. Like, how did you possibly go from being 1 foot away from being a bum to legitimately having convinced yourself that you could be one of the best farmers on the entire planet? How did you do that? I don't know how you came to that conclusion. Right? It's like me, when I come to my conclusions, I at least have some evidence, right? It's like over the last 3 months, I made about $14,000 a month running cattle. I made about $11,000 a month running cattle. Over the last year and a half, I've been averaging about $10,500 a month. At least I have some kind of something to ground my basis, to ground my beliefs on, right? Over about the last year and a half, I've been averaging about $10,500 a month. Over the last 3 months, I've averaged about $11,000 a month. Right? I mean, there was a 3-month period where I lost some money. But other than that, legitimately, it's like for out of 15 months, for 12 months, I was extremely net positive. Like I was making a massive amount of money for about 12 out of 15 months. That's what I've based my belief on. It's like, why do I think that I'm doing so well? Because at least I'm making a boatload of money. And it's like, and if you took somebody who legitimately is making zero money, maybe even losing money, and they've convinced themselves that they can magically just wake up one day and do this, it's not going to happen. I would be willing to bet money, and it would be a waste of my time to even attempt to help you. Because I don't know how you came to that conclusion. You should be thinking about other things. You should be, maybe you should be thinking about reading a book. Right? Maybe you should actually go and do something instead of just sitting there and going, I fell out of heaven to 7 and my life is a la land journey. It's not possible. I mean, this is not possible for the, it's like if you took me and told me that I had to do 4-dimensional calculus, I could not do it. It does not matter how hard I try. I could not do it. Maybe if I legitimately worked towards it for the next 15 years, then maybe. Yes, then maybe I could. Maybe I could do 4-dimensional calculus then. But that would be if I dropped everything that I was doing and legitimately worked on like just math for the next 15 hours a day for the next 15 years of my life. And, and it's like, that's a very realistic way to look at intelligence. If I was put in a room with 1,000 other people and everybody was going to be taught something new at the same time, then I would be about as good as everybody else. I'm not some incredibly intelligent person. It's not going to be like, oh my God, my brain is just leaving everybody in the dust. It's not like that. Right? And it's like me when it comes to this, like, if we are going to talk about running cattle in Central Texas on grass, then sure, I might be one of the most knowledgeable individuals that you could meet. Right? I might be. I might be one of the best, if not the best. Then, if we are going to talk about this in specific. But I mean, if we're going to go and talk about something else like math or geology or world, I mean, I'm not anywhere near super intelligent. I'm about as good as everybody else at everything else. This one thing is something that I am phenomenally good at. And why do I say that? Because, well, I mean, at least at the end of the day, I make a boatload of money. Right? That's why I say that. I'm not just sitting here randomly having decided one day, like I didn't just wake up one day and go, oh my God, I fell out of heaven to seven. My life is a mystical, magical journey, and I'm a cattleman. I did not do that. Right? This was like a 15-year process. And I didn't even get paid until like my 14th year. So, I mean, if you want to do it, then knock yourself out. Go for it. Don't ask me for help. I've already told you my belief system. If you have woken up one day and just randomly decided that you could be a world-class cattleman, you could legitimately be one of the best cattlemen on the planet, you cannot do it. Guarantee it. Me, I was not even concerned about becoming one of the best cattlemen on the planet. I was not even concerned about it. Me, when I got started, I thought, man, if I can make $3,000 a month on my farm, I would be very happy. That's how I got started. Right? I did not wake up one day and just magically decide that I could legitimately run cattle like in the top 0.001 percentile of humanity's population. I did not randomly decide to, I did not just wake up one day and randomly decide. I did not. When I first started my farm, I legitimately was sitting there thinking, man, if I could find a way to make $3,000 a month, I would be very happy. Farming, if I could find a way to make $3,000 a month farming, I would be very happy. That's how I got started. Right? I mean, that's legitimately how I got started. And that's the thing about me. It's like, you know, it's like you can say whatever you want about me. But if at the end of the day, you don't look at me and go, and there's not at least even one part of you, 1% of you that's like, you know, I'm a first generation farmer. I taught myself how to farm. And I legitimately farm at a skill level where it's like I may be one of the best on the entire planet. If there's no part of you that even thinks that, then, you know, chances are I really don't care what you think. I don't. I mean, it's like, you know, it's like, I don't, you know, I genuinely don't. Like, I don't think you, like a lot of people, I don't think that they, like, it's like I don't think a lot of people understand. Like, it's like, I don't know if I don't have the capacity to care but I legitimately don't. But it gets me very far in life. Like, it's like, oh my God, you know, he doesn't go out and help people, and it's like, I've already told you, you know, there is no helping people. And I know that this might sound like a dick thing to say, but I'm just gonna say it. There is no helping people. A lot of people cannot be helped because they are a massive pile of problems. You just randomly woke up one day and decided you went from being a borderline bum to randomly having decided that you could be a world-class cattleman. I don't know how you decided that. How did you probably came up with that because you have piss poor character. You probably do. I mean, really think about how did you possibly come to that conclusion? You went from being a borderline bum to having randomly decided one day when you woke up that you could legitimately be one of the best cattlemen on the planet. And it's like, now you're going to try and do what I do. Well, congratulations. You're going to find out for yourself that you're not going to be able to do it. You're going to lose all your money. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. And me, when I got started, right hand to heaven, I'm going to be completely honest. Me, when I got started, becoming the world's best cattleman, becoming one of the best cattlemen on the entire planet was not anywhere even near my perception. Like me, when I got started, my big idea was that I was looking to make $3,000 a month. That was my big plan. And I just happened to end up here because as I was working towards that, I worked as hard as I could. I worked as hard as I could. I was legitimately I had gotten so little sleep that it had messed up my blood. Like when they took a blood test for me, the doctor asked me if I'm getting enough. He said, am I having problems sleeping? And I was like, yeah, because, you know, I started this business and I'm looking to make it, and you know, I've been sleeping like 4 hours a day for like the last 5 months. And so, and he was like, you know, do you want to come in and like do a sleep test? Like, you're going to have to sleep in the doctor's office, and we're going to have to find out if you're waking up in your sleep or snoring or anything like that. And I was like, no, you know, it's actually kind of, you know, what happened with me was I'm not having problems sleeping. What happened with me is I started a business, and legitimately I am working balls to the wall. That's what happened. And so it's like, you know, it's like, I don't know how, you know, and it's like, you know, and But I can almost guarantee, you know, it's like, let's say that there's 1,000 of you watching my video and 100 of you are wanting to become a cattleman, right? None of you are going to make it. I mean, I would be willing to bet money. I mean, most of you are already too problematic. You're a massive pile of problems. You're not thinking correctly. You're going to go on these la land adventures and then you're just never going to make it. I can almost guarantee. I would be willing to bet. Nobody's going to make it. Bet me money. Right? Nobody's going to make it. I mean, you're kind of a worthless tard. You've legitimately, you're borderline a bum. I mean, you're not going to make it. I would be willing to bet money, and I don't know how you randomly decided one day that you were just going to wake up and become a cattleman, but you're not going to do it. I would be willing to bet money. Bet me money. Right? Put your money where your mouth is. Go and do it. Right? Don't ask me. I'm not going to hold your hand, right? I'm not your gay best friend. Right? I'm not going to hold your hand. Go and do it. That's what I had to do. I had to go and make it on my own. And, you know, and I can almost guarantee that you're not going to make it. I would be willing to bet 50 to 1. And if you make it, I'm very happy for you. Come and find me. We should be working together. Because that's my big idea of a team, right? Like if I was going to make a team, I would be looking for individuals that can more than carry their weight. That is what I would be looking for. Right? It's like, you know, I can run about 2,000 cattle a year by myself, right? I can grow the grass. I can run the business. I can do these various things. But if I found an individual that was like, they may not be able to grow the grass and they may not be able to run the business, but they can run drastically more cattle than me, then it's like you and me, we should be working together. If you can legitimately run 10,000 cattle a year by yourself and you quantify these things, it's like, you know, over the last 5 years, I ran 50,000 head of cattle, all between the weights of 500 and 1,000 pounds, and my death loss was 2.5%. But I did not manage the numbers correctly, right? And so I take a look at, and it's like, well, then, you're not like on drugs or nothing, right? I mean, it's not like you got divorced 5 times, right? If you got divorced 5 times, then there's no saving you. If you're on drugs, there's no saving you. If you're on alcohol, if you drink a bunch of booze, there's no saving you. If you gamble your money, there's no saving you. If you've just randomly decided that you can just become a cattleman one day, there's no saving you. But if you can actually, you know, run like 50,000 head of cattle at a time, I know that there are individuals like this out there in the world. There are legitimately people out there in the world right now that can run like 5,000 head of cattle at a time by themselves. And in all honesty, if all I had to do was run cattle, like if I was not running a business, looking for real estate, doing all these various things, growing the grass, all these various things, I could probably run about 5,000 head of cattle a year by myself too. I probably could. With a profitable margin, I probably could. And so it's like, and if you're genuinely that good at running cattle, like you can actually run cattle better than me. Like, let's say that you can run 10,000 head of cattle a year by yourself, then you and me, we should be working together. You can carry more than your weight. But a lot of people do not carry more than their weight. A lot of people drag people behind. This is what I'm saying by getting dragged into other people's jars. And I'm not saying this to be a dick. I'm just saying this because, well, if nothing else, at least there's a virtue in honesty. A lot of people are, it's like the reason you don't get put on a good team is because you cannot carry even your own weight. If you were put on a team, the team would do worse. Legitimately, think about it. Like if I went and got some random person at Costco and decided that we were going to work together, it would not be a good situation, right? It would not be a good situation. I would actually, my performance would be hindered by that individual. That's not good, right? It's like if I were going to have somebody on my team, I would want somebody on my team that was more than capable of carrying more than their own weight. Like when they get put on the team, we actually start accomplishing more, not less. I don't want to be in a situation it's like where I have to legitimately hold someone's hand for the next 12 years, 24 hours a day, so that they can even get to this point. Right, just to this point, not even ahead, we didn't even go ahead. We didn't even go forward. We just got to this point. Then it would not be worth my time and effort. It just wouldn't. And in all honesty, most people, it's like if you're in a situation where you want to learn how to farm, you can actually teach yourself a lot of these things. You know, almost everybody in America has access to the internet. And if you can get on the internet, you can legitimately look up anything that you want. Anything. Cattle medication, cattle feed, how to grow grass, what type of animal, you know, what type of animal is a beef animal. You know, you can even look up the price of feeder cattle. You can look up almost anything for free. There is no reason why I need to get involved with holding your hand. And even if I held your hand, I can almost guarantee that we would not even make it to this point within the next 10 years, not even to here. I would get pulled so far behind by most of you that it would not even be worth the time. It would not. Legitimately, it's like if I put a random person, if I just grabbed a random person from Costco, if I just grabbed a random person from Costco or Trader Joe's or anywhere, legitimately anywhere, and put them on my team, the performance would go so far negative that it would not be worth the investment of time and effort. We would go so far negative that it would not be worth the time and the effort. It's just, you're going to have to learn how to do a lot of this by yourself. And me, I'm a one-man team, and I do all of this by myself. So, every once in a while, I'll take if I need a specialist, I'll hire the specialist, and every once in a while I'll take them to the vet, right? If I need a specialist every once in a while, I'll take them to a specialist. But 99% of everything, I do it by myself. And that's the reality of my business. If you want to run a business like this, you're going to have to do 99% of it by yourself. And if you've randomly decided one day that you can just wake up and become a cattleman in the top 0.001 percentile of all cattlemen, it's too late for you. I don't know how you came to that conclusion. I don't know how you did that. But you're probably a massive pile of problems. The reason you came to that conclusion is because you are a massive pile of problems. I can almost guarantee it. You're borderline a bum. I fell out of heaven a 7 on a mystical, magical adventure. You and your ideas should have been kicked into a hole a long time ago. And that is where your ideas should go, right? You should not, don't offer me your deal. I don't care about your deal. Legitimately, unless you are, here's the thing. Over the next year, I will do over 5 million. I will legitimately go over 5 million. I'm already at about 1.5 million. I'm already at about 1.5 million. I'm putting myself on track to do over 5 million in the next year. And unless you can offer me $50 million over the next year, believe me, I have zero interest in your deal. Believe me, trust me, 100%. I do not care about your deal. I'm on track to do about 5 million over the next year. And unless you can offer me something like $50 million for a 1-year contract, trust me, I have zero interest in your deal. I'm being dead serious. Zero interest. So don't offer me your deal. I don't care about your deal. There is no saving you. I don't think people there is no saving anybody. Anybody at all. Most people cannot be saved under any circumstance. Trust me, I have zero interest in your deal. 99.999% of the human population have zero to offer me in terms of a financial deal. There is no business deal that you could ever offer me that I would care about. 99.999% of people. I'm already on track to do about 5 million over the next year by myself. I've already done about 1.5 million over the last year. Right? Legitimately, there is nothing that you could offer me financially. So don't offer me your deal. If you legitimately want to talk to me for 2 hours, you can pay me 50 grand. I'm being dead serious. There is legitimately nobody has anything that they could possibly, 99.999% of the population of the earth has nothing that they could possibly offer me financially. So keep your worthless deals to yourself, right? I don't care about your deal. No, I don't want to do any of your interviews or anything. Don't offer me anything. Legitimately, you cannot possibly offer me anything that is of value to me. Unless you are going to offer me something like 50 grand for 2 hours. Unless you're going to offer me something like $50 million for a 1-year contract, there is nothing you could offer me. Even on my own 2 feet, just by myself, I've done about $1.5 million over the last year. I'm on track to do about $5 million over the next year. There is nothing that almost nobody can offer me anything that is actually of value to me. Financially. I can almost guarantee it. So that's it for me today, YouTube. Y'all have a good one.